Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotion for you this Wednesday. Hope you're doing well today. I want to start with a quick meditation from Quiet Mind by David Kuntz. This one is about windows. What is life if, full of care, we have no time to stand and stare? W.H. Davies. So many influences of contemporary life seem to militate against our remaining awake and aware of what is meaningful to us. So much seems to clamor for our attention and keep us from being present to the moment. Everything seems to shout, "Look at me," or worse, "Look at me right now." As an antidote to those demands of life, I invite you to stand and stare, or simply to gaze. Perhaps gaze out the window right now and allow whatever's in your field of vision simply to be there. Just let your gaze fall easily upon what is outside your window or what is around you for a moment. Most likely what you see is ordinary to you. You've seen it many times. Now notice what is there. Noticing brings you from the general view of gazing to a more specific way to see. You note the weather and the temperature. You notice the time of day and the light. You take note of the things or people within your vision. Now, allow your noticing to call you to a quiet moment. Is the weather cool? What does cool weather lead you to? Is the sun shining? Who is the light of your life? Are we in spring? Is there something budding in your life? Is it a morning scene? What do you want to feel at day's end? When one of life's voices rudely shouts at you, "Look at me," respond by standing and staring, or with an easy gaze out the window. Then notice the ordinary but noble things you see there. There are so many opportunities for standing and staring, for gazing and noticing. Saints, I've got a great view out my window here in my office. I love the view into our columbarium. And if I stood and looked out the window right now, some of the things that I would notice are the flowers, the roses that are blooming on the bushes right now. I would notice the mulch that's fresh since the church workday that we just had recently. I'd notice the work that has just been finished on our new niches that have been installed. There are so many things that could catch my attention out there and lead me into thinking about and noticing other things, thinking about the people who did the work, who put down the mulch, who installed the new niches, thinking about just the beauty of those flowers as they open, as they bloom, and the God who has designed the bush to work like that, and the hands that have worked at it and kept it healthy and trimmed up and pruned and all that. There are so many interesting things if I just take the time to look beyond what is ordinary, what is everyday, what I always see when I look out there. I can continue to think more deeply and to really begin to notice. I think God cares about what we notice, who we notice. I actually just recently, with the preschool kids at chapel, talked about Zacchaeus. And you remember the story of Zacchaeus, the little tax collector who wanted to see Jesus, but he couldn't see above the crowd, so he climbed up a tree. And in that story, Jesus notices him. Jesus takes note of this small man, who is not just small in stature, but he is someone who is looked down upon. He is someone that people consider beneath them. And so they have made a concerted effort not to notice him, to ignore him and exclude him and push him aside. And Jesus comes along and really sees him and invites himself over to dinner with Zacchaeus. And this relationship begins because someone was willing to look past what was obvious, what was on the surface. You know, everybody disliked and excluded Zacchaeus, but someone else, Jesus, was willing to see him and notice him. I think that's a calling for all of us. I think that's something that we can all aspire to, being able to look past what our culture wants us to see. You know, there are so many people, so many voices. Our culture of celebrity is always screaming for our attention. People want us to pay attention to them. But the people who are shouting the loudest are usually not the people who need our attention. Who are the people in your life, in your sphere, and in your world who are being overlooked right now? Who are the people who are not being noticed? And how could you pay better attention to them? That's your devotion this week, and hope it's something helpful and worth thinking about for you. Hope you're doing well, saints, and I'll be praying for you. Please keep praying for me. And y'all take care. I will see you again soon.